in Stoic Men Tribe. Today we're tapping into a powerful truth, a moment of inner strength. Sharp clarity and timeless wisdom. Don't sky any part of this video. Share your thoughts in the comment. Please do us a favor by hitting the subscribe button, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's break it down. Choose peace over people. There comes a point on this winding, weathered path we call life when your questions begin to change. You no longer ask it, do they get me? Do they see where I'm coming from? Do they understand why I needed to pull away, protect myself, rebuild? Because eventually, you learn that not everyone will understand. Not everyone is meant to. And more importantly, it's not your job to make them. You come to realize that explaining yourself over and over, trying to soften your truth so it lands gently in someone else's ears, trying to rearrange your pain so it makes sense to someone who was never willing to hold space for your story, isn't clarity. It's emotional self-erasure. You begin to see the cost of constantly narrating your life to people who only listen to respond, not to understand. You begin to feel how draining it is to twist your truth into palatable pieces just to maintain someone else's comfort. And at some point, you get tired. Not weak, not bitter, just tired of explaining, of defending, of performing emotional transparency for people who never once offered you the same. That's when the shift begins. You stop asking, do they understand me? And instead you ask, am I at peace? Can I breathe in my own skin? Do I feel safe in my own silence? Because there is a sacred turning point, when your silence becomes your refuge, not your punishment. When solitude stops feeling like abandonment and starts to feel like freedom. There's a line, and once you cross it, you can't go back. It's the line between living to be understood and living to be whole. The line between exhausting explanations and grounded self-respect. You begin to understand that peace is not found in someone else finally getting it. Peace is found in releasing the need for them to. Peace is what rises when you stop tying your worth to someone else's ability to empathize. And slowly, beautifully, you start building a life where your own understanding is enough, where your own approval becomes your anchor, where the noise of other people's opinions fades beneath the calm rhythm of your own truth. This is the beginning of real healing. This is the moment you come home to yourself. There will come a time, not always marked by fireworks or thunder, but by something quieter, something more profound. When you stumble upon a place inside yourself that you may not have visited in years, or perhaps ever. You won't find it on a map. You won't need anyone else's permission to enter. It's not loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't call out your name. But it waits, patiently, softly, faithfully, for you. And when you arrive, you'll know. Because everything will feel different. The noise in your head will finally fall silent. The tension in your shoulders will release, like a burden quietly slipping off your back. You'll look around and see there is no performance needed here, no masks, no proving, no shrinking. It's quiet here. Still in a way that the outside world never is. Still in a way that feels sacred. Unshakably, unapologetically sacred. And not the kind of sacred that seeks reverence from others, but the kind that reminds you that you've always been enough. That your wholeness was never meant to be fractured to suit someone else's comfort. But entry into this sanctuary, this temple of self-peace, requires something of you. It asks for a price. Not of money or time, but of detachment. You must release the people who feed off your restlessness, the ones who need your chaos to remain comfortable, the ones who only know how to connect through drama, through guilt, through your inability to say no. You must let go of those who rely on your unraveling to keep their illusion of control intact, the ones who never ask how you are, only how available you are. Because peace, real, nourishing, soul-deep peace, has no room for emotional parasites. It cannot bloom in soil poisoned by manipulation, codependency, or guilt-laced affection. So you must choose, and it won't feel natural at first. Especially not if you've spent your whole life being agreeable, being nice, being liked, being available to everyone but yourself. It will feel strange, maybe even selfish, to say no without explanation, to pull away from relationships that once felt like home but now only feel like obligation, to stop over-explaining your boundaries and start honoring them without apology. But peace? Peace is not found in the performance. It's not in the approval. It's not in the way you twist yourself into shapes just to avoid being too much. Peace is not convenience. Peace is courage. It's the courage to walk away from what looks like love but feels like self-erasure. It's the bravery to say, I will not bleed for you to feel whole. I will not go silent so your illusion can stay intact. Peace is knowing when to stop participating in your own exhaustion. Peace happens, not when you've convinced someone to finally respect you, but when you stop asking for respect in rooms you were never meant to sit in. Rooms where you've begged to be seen, to be heard, to be held, but only ever found conditions, only ever found transaction dressed as tenderness. Peace is when you finally silence the part of you that answers every call out of guilt, the part that picks up the phone even when your body is screaming for rest, even when your heart is hollow from overgiving. Peace is when you begin to understand that not every message deserves a reply. Not every relationship deserves a revival. Not every person deserves unlimited access to your spirit, because your energy, your time, your attention, your care, these are sacred currencies. And the people who only reach out when they're running low, but never refill your cup in return, they are not your people. They are your patterns. They are lessons disguised as love. And eventually you learn that choosing peace means losing people, but the ones you lose when you choose yourself are never the ones meant to stay. So be brave enough to disappoint the world if it means finally being at peace with yourself. Choose peace, not because it's easy, not because it makes you invincible to pain, but because peace is the only place where your soul can finally breathe without conditions. Choose peace over people, not out of bitterness, not out of resentment, but because for too long, you've been molding yourself into shapes that don't feel like home just to be accepted by those who never truly saw you. You've dimmed your truth to keep the room comfortable. You've offered pieces of your heart to hands that didn't know how to hold them. You've bent over backwards, softened your tone, bit your tongue, smiled through the discomfort, all in the name of harmony, all in the name of love. But ask yourself, what kind of love requires you to disappear in order to be held? What kind of connection is it if it thrives only when you suppress your instincts, your truth, your voice? You are not here to be palatable. You are not here to be tolerated. You are not here to be a version of yourself that only exists for someone else's convenience. So choose peace over being liked, over being agreeable, over the exhausting pursuit of proving your worth to people who've already decided they'll only accept you on conditions. Choose peace over performance, because real love, real connection, real soul-to-soul knowing does not require theater. It does not need you to audition. And what is the point of being loved? If the cost is your own reflection, what is the point of standing in a room full of laughter, validation, and praise, if deep down you had to abandon yourself just to earn it? No amount of attention is worth the betrayal of your own intuition. No applause is worth the sound of your spirit screaming quietly in the background, because you'll hear it when the noise dies down, when you're alone again. You'll feel it, the ache of self-abandonment, the weight of pretending, the hollow space where your peace once lived. So let this be your reminder. Real love does not ask for your silence. Real connection does not come at the price of your peace. And no relationship, romantic, familial, social, or otherwise, is worth sacrificing your wholeness for. Choose the kind of life where your nervous system can rest, where your mind is not constantly rehearsing the right version of you to keep others happy. Choose the life where your boundaries are not interpreted as betrayal, but respected as truth, where you no longer have to explain why peace matters to you, because your life begins to reflect it, quietly and unapologetically. Choose peace over people, not because people don't matter, but because the right people will never ask you to abandon yourself just to stay in their good graces. They will meet you where you are, not because you're convenient, but because you're real. And in your realness, there is no need to betray your truth just to keep someone close, because the people who are meant for your life will never be threatened by your wholeness. They'll honor it, and your soul. It will thank you for finally coming home. There's a silence that heals louder than applause. There's a solitude more nourishing than forced company. There's a version of you that can only emerge when you step away from the noise and return to the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat. This is where real life begins, not in the chase for validation, but in the deep, grounded knowing that your peace is not up for negotiation. And yes, some will walk away when you stop performing. Let them. Some will accuse you of being distant, selfish, cold. Let them. Because people who truly love you will never be threatened by your wholeness. They will not punish your boundaries. They will not retreat when you rise. They will clap when you choose peace, even if it means choosing distance. So today, and every day forward, choose peace over people. Choose the path that leads you back to yourself. Choose the life that doesn't drain you just to maintain an illusion. Choose the love that doesn't require losing yourself in the process. You've spent enough time surviving storms you were never meant to be in. Now it's time to walk towards stillness, towards softness, toward peace. Let this be your revolution. Quiet, certain, unshakable. Choose peace. And watch who's still standing when you do. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts. In the comments, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.